At some point, every day in grade 1 and in kindergarten, you're going to have these lined up. And sometimes they're just sitting on the board all lined up like this. And you're going to decide that you want to start studying, adding, and subtracting. Now, in the Power of 10 system, basically adding and subtracting are taught together, and it'll become obvious why quickly in this video. So I've made up a little plan here, and this planning document is free on the website as well as it's in the Teachable Moment books. But basically it says, I'm always going to be integrating problem solving, all effects, and I want to integrate games. Now over here I have how many ways in the weekly graph. We'll talk about those later, so I don't have them in this plan. This plan is very fluid, and depending on what happens today, that's why I'm going to make up more plans based on what happened yesterday. That's why there are no specific plans like this written in the Power of 10 system, because you have to be paying attention to your own kids, always trying to recognize that some kids are ready for stuff, other kids are not ready. The games is the best place to diversify your instruction and get your small group works. So let's suppose today we decide to study the 8, and I'm just going to show you on the big card about the 8. And so when I ask kids to show 8, almost all of them will show this 5 and 3 because that's what they're seeing. And if they show the 5 and 3, I go that as you might get this situation 4 and 4. And if you do, you have to take that opportunity to go to that situation. But let's suppose that everybody in the class has put up a 5 and a 3 because that's what the card says. Then you want to integrate meaning into this. So number one, this is visual. It makes it very easy for the kid to get a sense of 8ness because of the fact that it's visual. But also it helps if you embed it in stories. And on the Power of 10, in the free downloads, you'll find these stories that you can use. You can put them on your smart board if you have that. You can do it on an overhead or a document camera. And so I've just decided today, Dakota is going to be my person of the day. So I decided to make up a story about Dakota. Using this card, I just say Dakota had 8 cookies. He ate 5, and so I asked the kids to show me 8. They do it. Eat 5. How much does Dakota have left? And then I write that on the board. Or I might make up a question one that says, Cody had 5 cookies. His brother gave him 3. A highly unlikely situation, by the way. And how many cookies does he have now? And then I might say, okay, let's go back to Trevor had 8 cookies and he ate 3. How much does he have left? And the only other question we have left is 3 and 5. So I would write all of these equations on the blackboard or the whiteboard. And you're studying family of facts. And by the way, then at some point in grade 1, probably October, kids are going to be ready to start to explore the All the Facts sheet. Now, let's go back to this 8 card, because it doesn't just have 5 plus 3 on it. It also has 2 plus 8. And, of course, if it has 2 plus 8, it has 8 plus 2 and 10 take away 2 and 10 take away 8. And it doesn't have just that. I didn't know this when I made up the cards. Some kid looked at this and saw 6 plus 2. So you have that story. And then if you've got 6 plus 2 is 8, you've got 8 take away 2, all of those kinds of things. And then there's another story that kids need to learn quite quickly. It's helpful. They find it difficult, but if Trevor had 5 cookies and Cody had 3, how many more does Trevor have than Cody? Now, more often sounds like an adding question, but this is actually 5 and 3, how many more is 2? It's actually written as a subtraction question. And so basically, out of that single card, there are 16 facts that you could study. And for every one of these families, there will be 2 of these on this sheet. So for example, what I've got here is the 2 plus 6, the 2 plus 8, and then I've got the 3 plus 5, and the 3 plus 2. Now on the new form of the All the Facts sheet, it turns out that on the back, if you have these questions colored in here, on the back will be the other member of the fact family. So in exactly the same position. That's Form A. Forms B through I, they will not be in the same position. But basically, this is to show kids that whatever you do on the adding sheet, there is a corresponding question on the adding sheet. So one day we do adding, one day we do subtracting. And we just start to identify these questions. The kids learn to scan as they're looking through, and eventually the kids get better. This sheet would last all week, the same sheet, all week in a grade 1 class, and every day I would just change the stories, change the study. So the 8 card has 16 questions, the 7 card has 16 questions. The 6 card has 16 questions, and the 9 card has, and these are the 4 cards that cause most of the problem, or most of the issues, the learning issues. So basically, you use story, you use visual tools, and then you follow up with a game. And the initial games are, you might play fish, you might play just so the kids are learning to sabotage the numbers initially. It's fish, it's match it, it's concentration, all of those games teach kids to just identify the numbers.